Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the JLJ podcast. It's your boy Jack Weber. I'm here with my man JVK.
How's it going, guys?
Also here with Matho.
How's it going, guys?
And we've got a very big episode. The JLJ Brownlow is finally here. The long anticipated wait. And we're very excited to go through what our Brownlow looks like for the 2020 season.
It's huge. Jacko, your prediction before we start?
My prediction not to win it.
Yep.
Lockie Neal, I reckon they get a good shout. You know, we can see whole 26 votes.
I think that's everyone's.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone's shout.
Mm.
Obviously, favourite in the AFL Brownlow
watch
as well.
Menengola make a push.
I'll watch it.
Absolutely.
Right, we'll watch Menengola then.
VK, take us to Adelaide.
We'll just watch him. I got a good feeling. Adelaide. Not a very good season as we've gone through. Pretty good end of the year though in their last few games. Not very high in the polling, as we can see with their third best Brodie Smith getting 3. I'm pretty sure there was a few players that got 3, but we chose Brodie Smith for the third spot, and then Crouch with 5, which is just a pretty crap year for Crouch's standards, and then Rory Laird, who's arguably been a very consistent player for them over the past few years. And fun fact, I did have Rory Laird win the Brownlow, not this year, don't be silly, about 3 years ago after Adelaide made the granny. I said, year after, Rory Laird for Brownlow and Adelaide for the Premiership. And it didn't. It really didn't. Didn't really work out.
It's not gone too well for you, has it, VK?
No, only 9 votes shows how bad their season actually was as their best performer in the JLJ, the best award that you can possibly get in the AFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, moving on to the Brisbane boys. Still in the finals, looking very excited for the prelim final against Geelong next week. No surprise, Lockie Neal hold ridiculous amount of votes in that JLJ Brownlow, 26. You know, that might be more than what he actually gets in the actual Brownlow. Of course, there'll be some bias in it, but, you know, looks a pretty good lock. And then second and third, very close between Dane Zorko and Jared Lyons for those ones. And then, you know, there was 2 players on 4. Hugh McCluggage was close behind him. And Jared Berry also had 4.
Very
Domination.
far behind.
Neil. Absolutely. Very close to the Brisbane team.
Yeah. Should be an interesting game. I saw a stat recently. This whole year, neither Geelong or Brisbane have lost at the Gabba. So someone is going to have to face the Al and drop out of the finals, obviously.
Interesting.
Through to Carlton. Also not a very, very high polling season. Paddy Cripps on 10. Definitely wasn't his normal self, covering over from last year, polling very high in the Brownlow. Sammy Walsh, 9. Very promising signs there. As we say, the JLJ Brownlow is the highest accolade that you can win in AFL.
Absolutely.
So 9 votes for the young gun. I think he'd be very happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the 26 that Lockie Neal has just above him up in the Brisbane. But Ed Kernell as well, 4 votes. I know I included him in the votes in 1 week. I can't remember who was against, but he wasn't in the coaches' votes, but I wanted him in there. I thought he was a difference.
He got 3, didn't he?
Yeah, but he got,
he only got the 1. He only got the 1.
2, but he didn't do much.
No, he did a lot.
A bit of a fall from Cripps. Bit of a fall from Cripps, Matho. I think me and Jacko had him in our top 3s for the Brownlow in our start of the season prediction. And Matho, you had him winning for the actual Brownlow. Yeah. So very much a disappointing season for Cripps.
Yep.
Disappointing, from his standards, obviously. He was carrying an injury all year. He has just had a shoulder reconstruction. So not that really plays a part in it. But I think definitely that he changed his role at the club in the midfield, obviously with a few of the signings coming in and change of roles at the club with David T going in full time. So I think it's just a little bit different, and I'm sure he'll suit to it next season, and we'll see him back up there hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going through Collingwood's team, you know, of course last week had one of the worst finals performances you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal.
Sorry, lads, I thought I muted, but the dog's howling at the sirens outside right now.
Yep.
Oh,
Content
golly.
you'll only see on the couch,
Get inside.
So if you're going to the Collingwood, Taylor Adams, of course.
Mute yourself.
I'm muted, but it's not working. The mute has not worked. Although the signs have gone. The house is not burning down, it's somewhere else.
Very lucky. So going through Collingwood's team, you have Taylor Adams getting the 9 votes. A little bit surprised he didn't actually get more than that, considering how strong his year was, but only got the 9. Jack Chris with the 7, who is very strong, and of course Pendlebury with the 6.
Fair enough.
Dons?
So Essendon, I didn't expect Merritt to have this many votes. Obviously, had a great year, and he seems to do it every year. Merritt seems to just poll and poll and poll. I think he's a good player. I wouldn't say elite. It's a bit controversial, maybe. A lot of Essendon supporters, the ones that are a bit biased, I'd say, would have him as elite. But if you look at it at a non-biased perspective, I don't think he's an elite midfielder. I think he's around the level of Treloar as well, who are the top level of the level underneath elite for me. But a great year with 16 votes, and then Ridley second with 8 and McGrath with 7. Very surprised on McGrath. I think he had a better year than Merritt. I think Ridley did as well, but of course he's a fullback, so probably not going to poll as well. But definitely our 3 best players this year. So I think that's fair enough. But 16 votes is a lot for Zach Merritt, but he does seem to do that every year.
Yep.
Definitely.
Matho Freo?
Yeah, Freo, Nat Fife, obviously. Easily the highest poll getter again at Freo, 14 there. Strong season from him, you'd say. Definitely up there with their best, clearly. Michael Walters as well, not far behind 12. He's been another very strong, consistent player for Freo over the last few years. And Andrew Brayshaw, another young gun coming up through the ranks. I'm surprised Caleb Sarong isn't in the top 3 for Freo, but definitely well evened out top 3 at Freo, 14, 12 and 10 for the respective players there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, moving on to this list, Matthew again, Geelong.
Geelong. VK, your main man, Sam Menengola, 16 votes.
Watch out for him. Look at him go.
I mean, very big season, and I think you've voiced your opinion on him not making the All-Australian side as a wingman.
Disgraceful.
Disgraceful. There's the words from VK there. Patrick Dangerfield, 13 votes, and Cam Guthrie, of course, the All-Australian inclusion on the wing, 12 votes. So strong season up against Jacko's Lions this week at the Gabba. Should be a very, very good game.
Now the Gold Coast team, what a very strange polling this looks like. Matt Rao with the 9 votes after only playing the 4 games all year.
Played 4 games.
Played 4 games and polled more votes than every other player at Gold Coast.
Golly.
Hugh Greenwood was 6. He had quite a good year, considering, maybe what they expected from him. Tuke Miller with the 3 votes as well, who had a much better year than a lot of his previous ones.
Yeah, definitely. Took Miller finally have more of an insight about him, Jacko, after this season. Only polling 3 though, and it's good to see Greenwood, a big defensive mid, get a few votes in there. But on to the Giants, Whitfield, who easily been their best player this season. For me, Josh Kelly, who have playing better. He played more games this year, not as injured this season, I'd say. And then Perryman, who bit of an interesting one to come in here. I think did he start off the first 3 rounds like top goal scorer or something, and then started getting heaps of disposals in the midfield, and I think he's dropped off a bit in the second half of the season, and Whitfield, that's why Whitfield's taken over him. But I think he had a pretty impressive year at an underwhelming, to say the least, season for the Giants.
Yeah, I know with Perryman, I'm pretty sure he didn't poll a vote after round 6. So all those 8 votes came at the start of the year when he was, kicking 2 goals and having 20 touches and stuff.
Yeah.
And onto the Hawks, a disappointing year. The man that I predicted to win the Brownlow, Tom Mitchell, I only polled the 8 votes, 18 behind the leader. So it definitely wasn't his strong year. Chad Wingard as well with the 8 votes, and Jack Gunston with the 5.
Yeah, very nice. Melbourne, Christian Petrarca, the prize lad, of course. 19 votes. I think he's currently sitting second. Correct me if I'm wrong. So very, very strong season from him. Obviously winning the Melbourne Best and Fairest. And his maiden All-Australian selection. So hats off to him. And if he's listening, Jacko, you've spelt his name Christian with an E. So that's hats off to you as well, buddy. Clayton Oliver as well, 13 votes. Very strong season from them two in the midfield. And Max Gawn, obviously the ambitious selection, some would say, is the second ruckman on the bench with 8 votes. So,
a lot of votes for Melbourne in a team that didn't make finals. I don't know if you see that compared to some of the other teams that have been past. I don't think they've had this many votes in the top 3. Some of the other teams that have made the top 8. So pretty good effort, obviously, from their midfield. Moving on to North, who for me had the worst season of any club this year, worse than Adelaide. Still don't know where they're going. They're looking like they're making some sort of decision of what they can really do. But Anderson, who was actually quite impressive this year with 10 votes. Todd Goldstein, who had a really good first half, I feel, but dropped off a bit in the second. I think he was comfortably, for me, the best ruckman in the comp in the first half of the season with 8 votes. And Sean Higgins, who has been pretty consistent over the years, getting 7 votes there for North.
Also, just on that Melbourne call that you made, BK, I think the reason that they had 3 very high poll getters, and Jacko, you'd probably be able to tell us from the spreadsheet of the votes, but I don't think many other players at Melbourne would have gotten their votes. Obviously, that's why they're such high vote getters. So
exactly right. I think Langdon had about 4 votes. I think Brayshaw had maybe 3 or 4 votes. And then pretty much after, I think Stephen May may have had 2. And then after that, there really wasn't much. But also, you got to remember when Melbourne won, they won very convincingly. So a lot of the time, it was all Melbourne players in the top 3. So that's probably why some of their players got a lot of votes. Also, a team, they got a lot of votes here. Port Adelaide, look at those top 3. The only team that has 3 players over 10 votes. With Travis Boak, 17. It'll become very close in our top 10 Brownlow. Wines with 14 as well, who had another great year. And Tommy Rockcliffe, who had a really strong back end of the year with 11.
Surprised about Rockcliffe, I reckon.
Yeah, he was very good in the final against Geelong as well. I think he was. Their whole midfield was very good, to be fair, but I think Rockcliffe was one of the best on, if not best on, in that game. Richmond, Dustin Martin, 13 votes. I think, would you be surprised with 13 for Dusty?
He'll probably get more in the actual Brownlow.
Yeah, probably will actually get more actual Brownlow. Of course, the umpires will be giving more, but we've done it. As what take the name away from the player and what they actually did.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that is very, very accurate. Dustin Martin, 13 votes, said a lot about his season when he's playing very well. Obviously, a very, very favourite for the full 3 votes. Shea Bolton as well. VK rates Shea Bolton very highly, one of the underrated players in the competition.
Probably most improved this year with the Big O for me, Shea Bolton, especially with the injuries. He just played so well, and even the final last week. Didn't get many disposals, but was really good, along with Edwards, as he always is, and Hooley in the finals. But yeah, very, very improved to me, Shea Bolton this year.
Yeah, and then Trent Cotchin as well with 6 votes. The dirty dog. Now, should he have gotten suspended for that tackle?
I'd love him too, but I don't think he get away with that.
It was disgusting. He's just a loser. Really, he just is a loser.
I think, honestly, I think it was a suspension, at least 1 week. The whistle had gone, was high, and he did attempt to take his head off.
Would have hurt him. He could have been really hurt, to be honest.
Exactly, and I think considering Zach Jones got up straight away, that was a positive. But if he stayed down for a little bit, I think they would have really considered it. But also talking about suspensions and Richmond players, Tom Lynch, knee to the back of the head, obviously. Been in the media a lot recently. Yeah, exactly.
Not a suspension though for me.
No, to be fair, it wasn't a suspension, but I think because of his history, that's where the questions gets raised.
Yeah.
But $750 fine. If you're fining the player on a first time offence, then that's probably fair. But considering his history, some people would have been pushing for a 1 week suspension.
Yeah.
at
Well, I
least.
know this year with Tom Lynch, he's gotten 3 striking fines and 2 misconduct fines. So that's 5 instances that have happened, off the ball where he's tried to hurt someone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just shows the type of player he is. Great
Yeah,
player, but just needs to clean up his act.
Yeah, definitely.
Damien Hardwick coming out in the media as well, saying that's the brand of footy that Richmond play. That's why they've been so active in finals in recent times. What's your thoughts on that? To be completely honest,
I think that they're hard when the ball's around, and legally maybe that's their style of play. But stuff like what Lynch did there, that's silly for me. Cochin maybe to an extent, because it was kind of in the play, just tried to hurt him. Maybe that's what Hardwick's trying to say. But what Lynch did is it's just dog, and there's no other way to put it really.
Yeah, exactly. And that it's expect that sort of stuff in junior footy, maybe up against a dirty side or something, maybe like that. I know VK and myself would experience it in the NFNL. Jacko, not so much. But yeah,
it's clean.
After that, VK. Yeah, exactly. VK, on to St Kilda.
Yeah, so speaking of Jones, 11 votes came from, it was a very mediocre player for me at Sydney, and this is a pretty good effort to get 11 votes in the JLJ Brownlow. Didn't expect him to get 11 votes, but he did, steal 15, very expected. And Dan the man, our man, Dan Butler, I thought he'd get more, to be completely honest, with some of the times we voted, but I think that was just a bit at the start. We were just throwing out votes for Dan Butler, and then we cooled it off a bit, I reckon. So 7 votes is still a great effort for a small forward to come third in the team for the Brownlow medal. So yeah, I think it was very expected for Steele to get. I think he'll do pretty well around there. I don't know if he's going to get top 5 or something like that in the Brownlow. I don't know about that, but he may. Maybe top 10, top 12 in the actual one for me.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, the St Kilda best and fairest winner should be interesting to see how he polls in the actual Brownlow. Not that it's better than the JLJ, but
no,
it's
definitely
not. Moved on to Sydney. You had a very poor year. Horse, if you're listening, Lee doesn't make a mention, which is unfortunate.
Unlucky.
But, Luke Parker with 14 votes, pretty much their only good player throughout the whole year. Really strong there. And then there were actually 3 players on 5 votes. Kennedy, Lloyd, and Tom Papley all had 5. But I just put Kennedy and Lloyd there because I think they had more of a consistent year compared to Tom Papley.
Yeah. West Coast, Andrew Gaff, Dom Sheed, and Tim Kelly, all very, very close on respectively 10 and 10 for Gaff and Sheed, and Kelly on 9. I think the biggest surprise there is Tim Kelly. I don't think he's been himself or as good as he was at Geelong in a star-studded midfield at West Coast. Actually, I take that back. During the season, he was very good, but I think finals, he's gone missing a little bit.
He only got to play the final.
Yeah, when he got tagged, he didn't really know what to do, did he?
I think, I had to reconsider that call. I think I was just going off the
well, he wasn't
most recent viewing.
He wasn't as good as last year. It's
he's not a top 10
that's what
player. No, he's not.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Go back. I think that was a good one. Listening to VK saying that Tim Kelly was the 9th best player in the league.
Yeah, well, what could you do?
I think I was just exactly. Oh well, VK doesn't matter. We'll make mistakes.
Definitely.
I said Port Adelaide were finishing last, and now they're in the prelim final. So
that's worse than me saying Kelly's 9th. I don't care what anyone says. He's worse.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. And of course, also in the West Coast one, Nick Knapp finished with 8 votes. So very
not far behind.
Yeah, exactly. Very close. Top 4.
There you go.
The doggies one, VK.
Very interesting. I would say McRae 4 more votes. Montepelli McRae 15 votes, which is a lot in the JLJ Brownlow, as we'll see when we get to the top 10. I think he had a great year. I do think Bont was still better this season,
probably,
but both polled very well. I think Bont underpolled here. I think he'll definitely get a lot more in the actual Brownlow than this. And Caleb Daniel, my man, still, in my opinion, the best kick in the game. Not defender. No way, Jacko. I agree with you on that one. But in terms of kicking, I know he's going to say Rich. But Caleb Daniel for me. It's very close. Rich will be second. Maybe Whitfield up
Mm.
there as well, but good year for Caleb Daniel for me.
Yeah,
You got to look at it as well, VK. Who's in the top 3 for each club? Caleb Daniel's top 3 for Western Bulldogs. Daniel Rich not in the top 3 for Brisbane.
I don't think he's in the top 13.
Exactly.
He's Daniel Rich.
Oh, he did poll. He did poll. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. No,
Jacko would have had him in there.
Yeah. So
thinking about the Caleb Daniel reminds me of a comment left on the last video from Big Mr. May saying we need to be more positive. So as you can see now, I haven't talked one bad thing about a Tom Papley. I respect Gary Rowan. Had a great game on the weekend.
he did.
He proved me wrong. Yeah, so we're looking for that more positivity, and hopefully Mr. May likes that.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It's a positive it's a positive episode, this one.
It is.
Mr. May's given some wise words of wisdom, and we've taken it on board and adapted to it.
Except for the Richmond players. Except for Cochin and Lynch. I actually can't be positive about them. I'm sorry. I'll try my best, but I just can't be.
So there you go. VK's not listening to the advice.
Yeah, he's not taking the advice.
Go to the top 10, guys. We can go through it right now. As we can see, Lockie Neal, no surprise there. Absolutely dominating with 26 votes, and big congratulations to him. But as anyone in that top 10 you're thinking, wow, I did not expect him to see there?
VK is currently looking at Sam Meningola and absolutely loving it.
Come on now.
He's
Look at
loving
him.
it.
Finally getting the real recognition that the true winger deserves there. Number 4 definitely deserved. Okay, maybe not top 4. He's probably not the 4th best player this year, but to get a better recognition there is always good. Merit, ambitious. You know, I do like my ambitiousness. And people are going to be looking at this thinking that I just threw out some bias votes for Merit, but I'm saying right here that, and I said it earlier, that he's not an elite midfielder, and I would say probably top 15 is where he'll come in the actual Brownlow, and fair enough to be around top 20, but 5th is very ambitious. And Natty Fife, just quietly, my Brownlow prediction from the start of the year, if he can poll a little bit in the Brownlow, I wouldn't mind a bit of a Nat Fife surprise.
What, you reckon Nat Fife's got a chance?
But I think he does. I made a bit of money off him last year. Not betting. Not betting.
You're betting.
It was just $2 in a pot, wasn't it?
Everyone
VK?
put $2 in, yeah, and I picked out the 5.
He choked.
Yeah, so I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, interesting. If you look through that, just had a look through there. 5 of our top 10 did not make the All-Australian team.
Very interesting.
So that says anything. It pretty much just says get us on the JLJ, get us on the All-Australian selection panel because the JLJ Brownlow.
You've got to get us on there.
More relevant.
I was just thinking that, Jacko. You took the words out of my mouth. I think definitely Lockie Neal, obviously All-Australian, Christian Petrarca, obviously. But the All-Australian, the JLJ podcast Brownlow medal, it's the most prestigious award that you can win in the AFL. I think all these top 10 are fair top 10 getters, and they should have all been in the All-Australian side. So it's a robbery.
Not
but,
Merit.
Everyone but Merit.
Merit should not have been in the Australian side.
Everyone but Merit then.
Then again, would have had 9 midfielders, so would have had.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Yeah, that's stiff.
All right, guys.
Right.
Quick preview for weekend's matches. Quick, who's going to win out of Brisbane? Well, first one's actually Port Richmond. So who's your tip, lads?
Tigers.
Port Adelaide comfortably.
Comfortably. I like it, but who's playing? The thing I think about it is who's playing, and Matty Lloyd brought it up on Access All Areas. Who's playing on Tom Lynch? I think Tom Lynch could kick 6. I think Tom Lynch could kick 6, and I think Richmond win 35 points.
Really?
Yeah, but you say that, but who did they put on Tom Hawkins, and they kept him to 0 goals 5?
Yeah, when you get 0 goals 5, it could have easily been 5.
Yeah, exactly. 4 of them, and then it's just about scoring shots. And I think Lynch is a very, very good kick on goal, and I think he's going to kick a few. And then if they put a couple men on him, I think Rewalk does have the ability. He's not playing great for footy right now, but I think he does have the ability to spark something with the experience he has in the finals. And I do think Richmond are going to win quite comfortably.
Matthew, you said Port?
Yeah, I'm going Port comfortably as well. I think Richmond travelling I don't know, Adelaide Oval with all the Port Adelaide fans. Can't see them doing too well.
Fair enough. I'm going Port Adelaide as well, only just. Probably maybe 10 points.
There you
And
go.
then
Close game.
Brisbane Geelong, lads.
Well, purely because I've got Geelong going all the way, I'm going with Geelong because I have to have them. But if I'm going through my mind, I think Brisbane will win.
No, VK?
Brisbane for me, I think at the Gabba. Maybe not comfortably like the other game. I think it'll be close throughout the whole game. Then I'll kick away at the end, 2 or 3 goals, and then into the granny after that. A good granny for me, Brisbane and Richmond. So let's see if Richmond could get their redemption against Brisbane from earlier in the final series. But yeah, I think Brisbane should win it.
Yeah. I think Brisbane are going to win, but I'm very scared of Patrick Dangerfield after the performance he put up. You know, it's going to have to be a big effort from Darcy Gardner to keep him to a goal or so. But it's going to be one in the midfield. If Brisbane can force Dangerfield to play more midfield time because we're winning the clearances, that's what Collingwood didn't do. You know, they were getting smashed out of the clearances, so they allowed Dangerfield to play forward because they didn't need him in there. So if Neil, Lyon, Zorko, McCluggage, Berry can all get on top, then forces Dangerfield in the midfield and a less of an impact.
McCluggage going to dominate.
McCluggage, do you reckon McCluggage is going to get the 3 votes?
I do think there's just something about him that I don't know what it is, but I think he's gonna. He's going up against one other main man. What's his name?
Mangola. You've already forgotten his name.
They might play on opposite wings though. That's what I'm thinking.
That's true.
Who are you taking, VK?
Who am I taking out of those two? Hugh McCluggage.
Sure enough.
Set it right here. Hugh McCluggage. Menegola better year, but I'm taking Hugh McCluggage.
Sure enough. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the JLJ Brownlow. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Congratulations to Lachie Neale for winning the most prestigious award in AFL history.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Cheers.
See you guys.
See you later.